Hi, welcome back to the Backpacker Coach. In this segment we're going to talk about clothes for winter camping. The first thing I wanted to talk about were socks. You definitely need to get or more than one, a pair of really good wool socks. What I carry are at least 2 pairs of medium weight wool socks for the day, during the hiking during the day, and then depending on how long you're gone, obviously you probably need more. And then the other thing is, when I go to bed, I have a pair of heavy wool socks for when I go to sleep. And also, depending on how cold it is, I'll actually have more heavier wool socks that I'll wear in my boots instead of the medium ones. So it just depends on how cold it is and which boots I'm wearing, that kind of stuff. But next, you have to consider about layering your clothes. You probably have heard this before, but we're going to go through it again because that's one of the more important things about winter camping, is layering with synthetic clothes, and so we're going to go over that. First is long underwear. You'll want some kind of polyester kind of wool blend, or at least a polyester kind of long underwear. I've got several different kinds that I usually will take depending on what temperature it's going to be, so the thinner and thicker pairs. And then next, what I've found is I still wear, it's like a blend of cotton and polyester pants. I wear over that. And then I have a pair of military Gore-Tex pants that I wear over that. And that usually does pretty well during the day. I usually do fine. And then for the mornings, what I usually do, or for nights, I have this, which is really nice. I bought this a long time ago, but I don't know if you can even buy these anymore. But this is a Thinsulate, like pair of pants, like not just pants, but like Thinsulate underwear. Nice, very nice and warm. I put that underneath my Gore-Tex, and that keeps you really nice and warm when it's have a really cold morning or cold night. The next thing we're going to talk about is coats. Okay, so the other thing that everybody probably always wonders is, why do we layer clothes in the wintertime? The reason why we do that is because you're going to be getting hot and cold, back and forth all the time. And so you want to be able to remove layers when you get warmer, and then to be able, when you get colder, obviously put on layers back on. Now see, if you had one big huge coat and that's it, you get hot, you can't slowly take off layers. You're stuck with one big heavy coat or nothing. So that's the reason why you work in layers, because you can be able to slowly take off layers or slowly put back on layers. Works much better. So the next thing we wanted to talk about were coats. What I use right now is, and actually shirts as well, I have a polyester shirt here, really nice, really soft. It's actually also what I take hunting. It's like wearing a really thin fleece shirt. I really like that a lot. I actually might wear this even sometimes during to bed over some long underwear. Then I have my wool sweater. Really, I just went down to a normal thrift store, looked through all the different wool sweaters, and picked out one that I like. That one works well. I've been very, very pleased with doing with this wool, and then my fleece jacket over that. I've been very impressed at how warm that is lately. I love this fleece jacket. Bought it a long time ago from LL Bean. It's very thick, heavy, nice fleece jacket. That's awesome. And then, if in the mornings when it gets really cold, I'll also have my down vest that I'll put on underneath that. Getting a nice pile going here. And then, over all that, I have my Gore-Tex jacket. So And now you're probably wondering why so much stuff. Well, you got to be able to layer, like I said before. Now sometimes people like to have down, which is awesome. I would like to have a down full jacket at some point too. So this system works pretty well. I just want to say that the other nice thing about this system is that you can essentially mix and match. So you can, if there's, you know, whatever temperature is, you can take off or add, switch things around. Works pretty darn well. Okay, the next section is also, we're going to talk about gloves. Definitely, usually you want to have mittens and instead of gloves, you know, with the fingers like this. Now, what I usually do is have at least 2 pairs of gloves. One for hiking during the day, because they're gonna get wet and sweaty, whether you're digging a snow cave or whether you're just working hard hiking. And then when those are wet, you know, wake up in the morning, those are going to be useless because they're going to be cold, frozen, wet. So you're going to have another pair. So then you'll at least want another pair of gloves. And then sometimes what I also will do, I'll take a thin pair of gloves for just hiking sometimes during the day or working with stuff. Depends on what the weather is going to be like, but I kind of like that. And then I have a nice, this is actually Alpaca Hat. It's supposed to be warmer and softer than wool, which I like this hat. It's really cool. Definitely want to bring at least 1 hat, maybe sometimes 2, depending on whether it's going to get wet, because you're going to also want to sleep with this on your head at night, because that's going to keep you a lot warmer. The other thing I wanted to talk about were gaiters. Gaiters are pretty important, especially if you don't want the snow coming up under your pants leg and getting snow in your boots and that kind of stuff. What I recommend is something that does not suck up the water. Now there's different kinds. I really like these because they can't suck up water. I also have another pair that I wore last year backpacking in the winter, and I found out that these are hunting ones. They keep the water out and the snow out, but when they suck up the water on the outside, because it's the soft, fuzzy stuff for hunters, so they don't make any noise. But I woke up the next morning and they were stuck out like this. They were like this big, solid, frozen piece of stuff that I couldn't even use. So if you're going to just hike for the day, these would be fine. But more than if you're going to sleep, over the night, have something that's going to be cold and freezing, then you definitely want something that will not suck up the water so it doesn't freeze, so you can use it the next day. And that's it.